going on, YouTube? Josh from the lab here. Here's a little fascinating tidbit about the Idaho suspect, BRYAN KOHBERGER. The big dummy sent his DNA for genetic testing to explore his ancestry. Now, that's a pretty common thing, that people do, and they, totally understandable why people are interested in that kind of stuff. However, if you're planning a massacre, a bloody, violent massacre, then it's not going to be advantageous of you to do that. So the story goes, BRYAN KOHBERGER told a fellow grad student that he had explored his ancestry by submitting DNA for genetic testing, which could shed light on how investigators use forensic genealogy to zero in on the accused quadruple murderer. The Washington State University PhD candidate who is charged with the murders of the gruesome deaths of 4 University of Idaho students mentioned to a classmate living in the same on-campus housing complex in August that he took a DNA test. KOHBERGER, who is a student at the university's criminology department, asked whether the neighbor could identify his ancestral background, which the man guessed was Italy, the student told the paper. Quote, he talked about his ancestors. He had some sort of DNA test. I don't know how he got to that point. It was just interesting to him, the neighbor told the Statesman. Now, it seems like what probably happened is, at the crime scene, the mess, that there was DNA evidence left everywhere, and they retrieved the DNA, anything that they could, went through it one by one, or, analyzed it one by one, and they used this certain technique that investigators can identify the DNA of the victims first, and then they start looking for DNA of someone who should basically DNA of somebody who doesn't live in that house. So you eliminate everybody that's in the house, and then you're going, okay, is there an abundance of DNA from somebody else that doesn't live here? Also, another very interesting thing about the neighbor is that the neighbor was contacted by the police because they found his number in KOHBERGER's phone. And then the neighbor also provided a screenshot it says from September 21st, and it says, "Hey neighbor, how's your semester so far?" And it appeared to be from KOHBERGER. The neighbor said that he was too busy to reply. Too busy to reply, that's not a thing. It doesn't take very much time to reply. You typically, especially if it's your neighbor, if it's just some random person, I could understand that, but he obviously didn't want to talk to him. Doesn't surprise me. Around August or September, KOHBERGER thought that it would be a great idea to submit his DNA for Ancestry results, and just a couple months after that, committed a heinous, messy murder, and wonders why his door got kicked in, and said that he was shocked when the police came to arrest him. It's not shocking. Thanks for listening.